Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to Decidedly Vanilla. Now we are over in the Clover, of course, and we have a very stubborn villager right here. Desmond is not trading with me, or at least not trading the good stuff. I've run out of, we've locked the rotten flesh trade, we've run out of redstone and lapis trade, we've run out of glowstone trade, so I'm gonna have to start giving this guy some gold, which I did not really want to do. The gold trade has always been the most dubious of trades when it comes to villagers, but to be honest, I'm not that worried about it, because this place is basically printing gold in the form of gold armor from here, and it's much the way, in the same way that I said it was a low-rate iron farm in the last episode, it's also a bit of a low-rate gold farm as well, because the gold and chain armor that you get from zombies coming in here with armor, you can smelt them up in the furnace now to get nuggets, and of course turn the nuggets into ingots. So while obviously this is not the best trade in the world, it is hopefully going to unlock him. Yes, fantastic. Okay, and then we can get trading the rest of that rotten flesh, and our emerald profits start to go back up again. So hello folks, welcome back to Decidedly Vanilla, and this is probably going to be a slightly shorter episode as I mentioned last time, but once we've done a little bit of trading, we are going off on an adventure, because I have a couple of builds planned for the jungle area, and for those I will need acacia. So we're going to go on a bit of an exploration type thing today. We're going to go on an expedition and see if we can grab ourselves some acacia wood from a nearby savanna biome. I have a good idea where one is, but we just need to go and scope it out and make sure we can grab some acacia, and then once we've got the saplings we can always just farm it back here. But I figure the scenery on this server is interesting enough that I don't mind showing you guys a little bit of that once we are done trading all of this, and I'll leave enough of this in here that it can start stacking up again, you know? I really wish there was a way you could do something similar to the gold armor smelting thing and get nuggets of leather, because leather armor is basically kind of useless right now. I've been putting it on armor stands occasionally and just combining the stuff that I found from the spawner, but there's no real use for it other than decoration. Leather armor is historically not the best armor, and most of the time you never end up crafting it, because despite the fact that you can craft it very easily in the early game, I guess if you don't want to go mining then it works out, but otherwise you don't tend to find enough cows to make a full set of leather armor from just leather. I always get all of the leather armor in my games from spawners, from the amount of zombies and skeletons and stuff that drop them. So yeah, leather armor is kind of useless, and I kind of wish there was a better use for it kind of in the late game, but I guess decoratively it works too. So that's that. We've got ourselves a fair bit of emerald, and I've been working on my emerald block supply. We will probably be getting a few more of those in the days and weeks to come, and then hopefully getting ourselves a full beacon out of emerald blocks. That's kind of the goal right now, because I need to use iron and gold and everything else for other things. So we're going to take a trip up here again, and we're going to probably leave the jungle by boat and go across the sea. I have a couple of other things I wanted to show you along the way, a couple of landmarks that are basically just nearby enough to the jungle that I can show you guys. I've done a little bit of very basic decoration to this passage through here just to make it look a little bit more cave-like, and yeah, deliberately kind of mess it up a little bit. I'll probably continue working on this as we go, but the passage through here was just kind of convenient instead of jumping over the top of this hill every time, so I thought I might actually make that a permanent feature instead of just filling it back in again. And I've been killing squids around here as and when I can, because having that black dye is very useful for the overall concrete production theme of my season so far. I have the occasional bit of squid ink coming through here and there, but the Cirque is making a dye shop at spawn, and I don't think he's finished with it at the time of this recording, so hopefully that will get finished up soon, because I am dying to buy some dye. I need to come over there and spend all my diamonds or emeralds or whatever I happen to have, whatever he happens to set as the currency, but we've got a fair few of those now, and I might start putting some in my ender chest as well, just so I have them available wherever. And we are going to cast out from the shipwreck with our jungle boat, pausing only to pick up the squid ink that seems to have been left around here. This place, occasionally the squids will just swim into some of the little water flows around there and get themselves trapped, so it's actually a little bit of a slow ink farm as well. I have added a few leaves and stuff and rocks to the outside of the boat here just to make it look a little bit more overgrown, a little bit more of a wreck, and let it kind of sit there and be junglified for a little while. So this is the way I've been taking to get out of the jungle and over to a couple of places where I've been harvesting resources. There's a desert out this way somewhere that I've been getting sand from. But I wanted to show this because I mentioned this in the previous episode whilst we were trying to get Desmond back to the clover. And this over here is the mountain I was talking about. Now, isn't this mountain just like the perfect thing for a little miniature cartoony volcano? It's got this waterfall coming down the side. It's got a nice little shape to the top of it, and I think that would look fantastic as a volcano. Problem is, I don't really go far enough away from the shipwreck right now to justify turning this into a volcano and then not looking at it. So maybe in future we will be able to expand some of the stuff we're building around here over there and get a volcano set up, because I have a kind of almost like a prehistoric theme in mind for this area, and it's not going to be all like dinosaurs and stuff like that. It's going to be sort of futuristic and prehistoric at the same time, a lot like Horizon Zero Dawn, which I mentioned in one of my earliest episodes. We're coming up to landmark number 2. This is what Oviraptor has quite aptly termed One Poppy Island. And yeah, it's just kind of adorable that a single poppy is growing on a single grass block in the middle of this place. And there's also 2 grass and 1 fern island, which is slightly less catchy, but I think One Poppy Island is going to stick around, and if anybody destroys that poppy, then woe betide them. Great vengeance shall rain down on their heads if the poppy should ever be broken. That's a little bit of mythology for the area for you guys. But yeah, the reason we're going out to get acacia in the first place is that I have a couple of designs for sort of more robotic animals and dinosaurs and stuff. There we go. That's where I thought the acacia was going to be. I have an idea for a few designs that we're going to have out in the jungle, and we're going to be building creatures in amongst the jungle plants and sort of popping out from in the trees. And we're going to keep a lot of the jungle terrain and the jungle foliage there, so we're going to have trees and bushes and stuff partly obscuring these things, and you'll just get peeks of them through the jungle leaves and behind the trees, and I think it's going to be a fantastic theme for the area. Now, looking at this isn't a huge savanna biome. It kind of stretches off in that area, but it's right on the border of the jungle, and then it drops off into the ocean over here. So I'm going to have to be a little bit judicious with how much acacia I take from this. We'll probably just grab a couple of saplings. I've got my silk touch tools with me, which might have been a mistake, because if I had fortune tools, I'd be able to break up these trees for a couple more saplings. But hopefully we'll be able to grab a couple. We'll be able to take them back to the jungle, grow a little bit more acacia there, and then I think for the rest of the episode, we might just get our build on. So back here in the jungle, we have a little plot over here to set up our first exciting build. So, not that the shipwreck wasn't exciting or anything, but this is going to be something else. This is going to be something special, and I need to eat just in case. So we're going to lay down some stuff, and I have a wide variety of stuff in my inventory. You're probably wondering what some of it is doing there, and the answers will become clear as we go. We need to start off over here, I guess, and we'll make one of these. And then we'll lay down some white concrete. I'm going to be using a lot of white concrete in this series, folks. If you weren't aware of that already, there is some stuff going on with white concrete, and I will reveal some more of that as we go. Now, this next one needs to line up probably about here, or maybe, yeah, I think there needs to be a gap between them like there. So, yeah, how are we going to do this? We probably need to fill that in with something. Let's just put an oak plank there for now, and we'll figure something out for that afterwards, and then we can continue this one over here. So there's about a block or so between them. That's looking good. It needs to be an odd number build, this one basically. And anvils, yes, anvils don't get used enough in buildings because they're so dang expensive in survival, but oh, this is going to look good. Right, cobblestone wall go on top of here, like so, and you can probably tell what these are supposed to be looking like already, where my acacia fence is at. There they go. Let's put that on top of there. Yeah, this is interesting. You guys are like, Pix, build a house for goodness sake. No, we are building freaking robots right here, and these are going to be some robot feats. Now, they're looking a little bit chicken footy right now, and that is by design, because dinosaurs are related to chickens distantly. That is the common conception about dinosaurs, is that they are kind of related to chickens, and they should have had big old feathers and that kind of stuff. We ain't going to be building any feathers on this guy, but he is going to be looking just swell. Now, obviously, the mechanical parts of this have got to look like they've got hinges and things. They've got to look like they move around a bunch. They've got to have some flexibility to them. So what we're doing here is making like muscle strands, basically. We're making kind of sinews and stuff out of acacia fences, and doesn't that look like something that could bend? Like, it's got a little bit of cushion to it, a little bit of suspension. That's the anvil right there. It's kind of making a little suspension thing. I don't know. I don't even know what the terminology is that I should be using here, but yeah, basically the whole idea behind this is that there is a big old dinosaur kind of style robot that looked like it can walk around a little bit. Give me my fences back. Thank you. Gosh, having the hardest time placing acacia fences. There we go. So this is going to be a bit of a tricky build just because of the amount of height involved here, so I'm probably going to have to shift things around a little bit. I will keep you guys updated as we go, but talking and building on camera has never been my strong suit. I'm trying it out a little bit more, though, for this series. Oh, and Nash is here. Hello! Hello, didn't even spot you there for a second. Nash is new to the server, and I'm kind of glad she's turned up so I have an excuse to talk about her. She is brand new to the server, brand new to Decidedly Vanilla, has a channel of her own, which you can check out, link to in the description, and she is a very promising builder. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the stuff she comes up with on the server. And oh, hello, that's an acacia leaf. Now, you guys, oh no, it's a dark oak. Oh, I thought it was an acacia because I've been growing acacia. I have made a bit of an executive decision with this series now, and I'll pause in the building of this and I'll take a look at my screenshots while I'm doing that so I can see where I've built some stuff, and I will explain a little bit of something to you. So, B00 has a texture pack. God love the man. He is a hard-working dude, and he has come up with a texture pack which I am not using. You will notice that pretty much everything in this series is default vanilla, as you might expect it if you just load up Minecraft as standard. But if we grow an acacia tree, you'll notice, dang it, I've run out of bone meal. So yeah, let's grow one of these. The acacia leaves in Minecraft have never been different like they could have been. Bye, Nash. I hope you enjoyed looking around the zombie spawner. Yes, the acacia leaves always had the texture of oak leaves or birch leaves or anything like that, except I guess birch is a slightly different colour, but they look the same. Acacia leaves look the same. So did dark oak. And B-Dubs has put out a texture pack where he's changed the texture of acacia leaves and dark oak leaves so they are different. And that is something that should have been done just by default in Minecraft a long time ago, in my opinion. So I'm really happy that he's done that, and obviously there must have been some other packs out there which changed the leaf textures as well, but I think his is still probably the closest to what default should be, in my opinion. So I figure I would add that in, and I've also added in, if you look at my armor, you'll probably notice it's looking a bit different. I've kept the kind of changes to the enchantment glint that he's made in his texture pack with the help of a subscriber, apparently. And yeah, I decided to add those in, and so I've got in my resource packs now, I've got B00 vanilla add-on, and it's just leaves plus, so it's leaves and the enchantment thing, and I've just done that myself. I basically downloaded the full texture pack and deleted everything except the leaves, so I feel kind of bad that I'm not using the full B-Dubs texture pack, and I know some of you guys might be interested to see what I build in it, but I'm a default guy. Like, for the majority of the time, a little bit of shaders if I'm feeling saucy, but I'm a default guy, and I just think this is a change that should be made in default, so I don't feel too bad about it. Basically, anytime I'm building with this, anyone is just going to see regular leaves if they're not using this texture pack, and so I will know that it still looks good because that's just how you would use leaves anyway, but it just adds a little bit of something for me and anybody else who's using B-Dubs texture pack. It just kind of adds a little bit of extra detail, a little bit more foliage we can work with, and considering that I'm probably going to be doing a lot of this series just kind of by myself, tinkering with stuff, the leaf texture is not going to be all that important. Likewise, the enchantment texture, also not that important. So yeah, I think this is a good decision. I reckon this is a good decision. I'm going to work with it. So yeah, I'm going to carry on building this freaking robot because this thing is going to be pretty awesome once it's built, and I will update you guys as we go. So we got a back end done here, bit of a tail, and it's looking pretty swell so far. I'm liking it a lot. One of the details I added in creative, which I didn't quite think about too much in terms of the cost, but is actually going to be kind of expensive, is stuff like this. Now these details are already going to make the build once it's done, but having iron pressure plates and stuff around, and iron trapdoors, and obviously if you step on these things, then the iron trapdoors activate, which might actually be kind of a cool feature if we could implement it somehow, but you know, just having it shuffle every now and again, having some of the stuff on the back move and flap around just as though the thing is a little bit alive. Adding life to stuff like this is going to be what makes it more than just a statue, but maybe we can think about that another time. Right now I'm just interested to build it. But if you look down here, if you head down to roughly where the entrance of the zombie spawner is and look up, you can already tell that this thing is going to look pretty imposing, right? It looks like a bit of a mess right now because we haven't built the rest of the body, but once the rest of it is in there, then you will really be able to see some cool sort of effects just standing back here and looking up at the head of this thing, which is probably going to be about there. And I plan on making a bunch of these as like different designs. So in stuff like Horizon Zero Dawn or Ark or whatever, when you've got different dinosaurs, then they're always just so diverse and interesting. And oh yeah, getting up here is going to be a bit of a problem, so I might take out some of those trapdoors as I use the back of this thing to climb up. But yeah, you always get different species of dinosaur and loads of different designs and stuff, and everything just becomes that much more interesting when you've got a lot of these things around. So we will see. We'll try and get a little bit of variation in, but for now, I need to carry on working on this one, getting the body all figured out, getting the pose worked out slightly. Can I not place something? Oh, there's a fence there. That's why. Okay, well let's move this one forward a little bit, and yeah, we'll see what we can come up with. So, after a little bit of tinkering, I think I have this guy where I want him. I'm going to climb up this tree just to get a better look from above, so you guys can see exactly what I've done. Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's pretty cool. I probably want to clear out some of this foliage at the back just so you can see the tail a little bit better, but we've got a redstone comparator on the top there in subtract mode so that the redstone torch on the front is lit up and it looks like it's kind of being maybe remote controlled from somewhere, or maybe just it's powered on. And there's a redstone torch in there as well, which is powering that block right there, which could always be swapped out for a redstone lamp later so that we have a little bit of power going to it and a light source in there later. But I think this is looking pretty good, guys. I'm really happy with it. I added in the arms. I didn't put arms on in creative originally, but then I figured dinos, they got those tiny little, like, the T-Rex arms, basically. So yeah, hopefully we can blend this guy in with the environment a little more. I'm going to grow myself some more acacia wood and probably dress up the bottom of this with leaves and stuff, make it look like he's trudging through the undergrowth, perhaps. But that's probably going to do it for today's episode because I am all out of time for this one. But maybe we'll tinker with the design a little bit off camera and make it even better by the time you guys next see it. But thank you for watching Decidedly Vanilla. My name has been Pixlriffs. Leave a like on this episode if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.